How do, and welcome to Movie Monthly, where we look at, where we have a preview of all the films coming out in the following month, or this month, depending on when you're watching it. This month it will be July 2017, and it's a pretty packed month, as you'd expect from blockbuster season. I'm Rick, and I'm joined by the two Andys.
Oh, you have the new two Ronnies.
Oh.
But we're the two Andys.
You've got the glasses as
I
well.
want some four candles.
I've been calling you the two Andys. I've been calling you the two Andys straight away, on my website.
Amazing.
Posting up your videos, the two Andys.
I'm going to keep asking you for four candles every now and again.
4 candles. That's quite good. Even with the big things, you got the glasses, so it's close.
Right, we'll dive into it and we'll start with the biggest. Well, will it be the biggest? Spider-Man Homecoming.
This is 100% going to be the biggest. Even if it bombs critically, financially this is going to be the biggest.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's guaranteed, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
To some extent. I'm excited to see what we spoke about in the sense of the age range. He seems like the perfect... who is the guy doing it again?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland seems like he's got he showed briefly in Civil War, he's got almost that like youthfulness about him, that naiveness that Spider-Man's supposed to have in the comics, and yet he shows he's got like a little bit of that cockiness and that character about him. So about him, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
From what we've seen so far, the rest of the film, there's bits I think it'll be alright, but my only worry is they're going to rely on Mr. Moneyman himself.
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern.
Have you seen every poster and every trailer and every
Every
advert?
fucking trailer. That's the issue. Are we allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a big problem. And I don't have faith in Sony as a production house to keep their mitts away from a franchise like this.
They're trying to, though. There's been... Have you seen all the internet thing about that?
I almost feel like to them, getting that marriage with Marvel to do this film just gave them an excuse to fuck with it more by putting more Iron Man in it.
Yeah, but...
I'm excited for it.
Is it
I kinda
Sony
look
that
forward
have
to
said,
it.
we'll let you have Spider-Man as long as we have Iron Man in our film?
It's some sort of marriage between Marvel. No one knows the exact details of it. They
I
haven't
think
made it
Marvel's got
public.
more control.
You blow your nose.
I think Marvel's got more control over this because Sony are looking to do their own cinematic universe. They can't have Spider-Man in it.
But that's what makes me think that Marvel don't have as much control as we think they do.
Is that a
Because
good
they
thing? Is that
are
a bad
spinning
thing?
it off into its own franchise.
Yeah,
that we've
but
already
without
found
Spider-Man. So they're creating a universe. Sony are creating a universe, but they're not allowed to use Spider-Man. And
We don't
Marvel,
know if they're allowed.
How
No,
many
they're
Marvel
not
have said
using
like it could happen, but I think they're going to wait and see how it goes.
How are they
And
making the
but the thing
universe?
is, all this stuff is just one big political mess and business mess that I think might impact the film.
How are they making a universe? Is this with Deadpool, X-Men?
No, it's with characters from the Spider-Man world. So you've got Venom, isn't it?
Yeah, they're doing a
Tom
Venom
Hardy's
film.
already cast for that.
Oh, really? Who's Venom? Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good call, but obviously we're not talking about that right now. Like, for example, can either of you tell me who's directing this film?
I have heard the name, but
And that's a problem. Like we've just been talking about in our Spider-Man review. Sam Raimi was the whole thing that made the original Spider-Man trilogy work.
Who's directing this?
Even
I don't know.
even when the Amazing Spider-Man came out, people were excited for it because it was Mark
500
Webb
Days of Summer.
that was doing Amazing Spider-Man, and he was like an indie director who had this great track record.
Yeah.
No one knows who's directing this. I'm sure, like, and he's going to pull up the name now and more go, oh yeah, like we know him. He's done that film. But they're not pushing it like that.
Yeah, true. It's very true, actually. Yeah.
And it looks like a CGI fest as well.
Yep.
It
Well,
really does.
Isn't the suit practical?
The suit's like halfway between. They're doing some CGI. The suit's primarily practical, but they're doing some bits where enhance it with CGI. The eyes, I think, are enhanced through CGI. There's moments where we see it entirely CGI in some of the trailers.
Yeah, I think they're going to rely on CGI a lot in this, and I think that could the movements and stuff. This is what I'm having an issue with a lot of superhero films and stuff now. It's like
John Watts.
there's a lot. Is it John? Who?
John Watts.
Who's he?
I thought I knew him.
Who's John Watts? What's he directed?
Did he do Doctor
He
Strange?
must have a
No, he
pretty
didn't do Doctor
decent.
Strange.
I mean, to be chosen to do Spider-Man, you can't just be any old.
You have to be John Watts.
It looks like indie. Anyway, my apologies. I cut you off there.
No,
Sorry.
you're all right. The CGI has been a bit like Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman, but there is so many weird bits in the CGI where it pulls you right out of it. You're like,
Yeah, you said
that
about the
looks
fighting.
So, yeah.
Yep.
And I think it's because they're
And the
doing
fight at the
really
end as well.
odd things that don't happen, and so for you it looks a bit jarring.
Yep.
No matter how good the CGI is,
This is why the
it's
old
going to
ones,
look jarring.
This is why something like Spider-Man 2 holds up so much more than anything else, because of all the practical work. Just to let everyone know, John Watts directed Cop Car, 2015.
That's apparently quite good. I haven't seen it.
Apparently quite good, but all I've heard from it is
did
it's
get good
quite
reviews.
good.
Yeah. it did
Outside
get
of
good
that, he did Clown, 2014. I couldn't tell
Wait,
you.
hold on a second. Yeah, but we're saying like, what's he done? But look at people like, granted they did one film, but like look at Raimi and look at Mark Webb. I mean, Raimi's famed for the fact that he's done his Evil Dead series, but to other people, it's like, what the fuck's Evil Dead? You know, it's a very cult classic.
You are correct.
You got 500 Days of Summer that I think's got bigger over the years because people have think to it more. So people might be asking at the time, who the fuck's Mark Webb?
Yeah.
You're right. We are making some snap decisions on that one. But I think it's based on the fact that we haven't heard anything about Clown and Cop Car having this like striking style. Whereas like even if you hadn't seen Raimi's stuff, you knew he had a strong style and he had a strong following because of that.
A good thing about this film that I'm looking forward to is Kevin Costner. Is it Kevin Costner? It's not Kevin Costner.
No, you mean Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Why did I say Kevin Costner? He's
know.
in Waterworld, isn't he?
You're always thinking about who you want to sleep
Is
with.
it? No, Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
And Kevin Costner.
Is it Michael? Is it Michael? No, yeah, it's Michael Keaton, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's Kevin Costner, isn't it?
Who's this guy?
Don't know.
Yeah, so Michael Keaton.
Yep.
He looks really good.
He does. And like coming off of Birdman, could he not be playing a more perfect role?
Yeah,
So he could bring some really interesting depth to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, even if it is quite average, it's going to make a fortune. They're already looking into like they want to film the sequel straight away. They're looking straight back because they want to keep him young. Do you know what I mean? Before Tom Holland becomes.
Again, problems. Those are business problems.
Of course it is.
Which says to me this film's in trouble.
I
I hope it's not,
money,
because they cannot afford to have another Spider-Man franchise bomb. They can't afford that. You are starting to damage a very profitable character at that point.
Yeah.
So, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. So on excitement ratings, you're quite excited.
To some extent, I'm excited to see Holland. It's okay, put it this way. It's not the kind of movie I'd go up to Newcastle like I do Star Wars and do a whole IMAX experience where I get free popcorn and shit and VIP fucking stuff.
Yeah.
It's something I'll go... I did do this with Wonder Woman. I'll go around the local cinema and watch it. And like, maybe, probably, we'll go and watch it.
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not expecting anything spectacular. I think the same usual Marvel stuff.
I'm like crazy excited for it because I'm a Spider-Man fan, but I also think it's probably going to be terrible.
Yeah. Okay. We're all going to go and see it. We're all going to give them our money. We're just even if the reviews are bad, we're all going to go and see it, aren't we?
Damn it, Marvel.
Well, yeah.
They've got us. And then we've got Valerian. Valerian.
You know,
Valerian.
when we decided to do this, and you
And
said
the City of 1,000.
And you said, no, Andy,
planets.
There's nothing you need to watch beforehand.
Yeah,
I
well, this
assumed it
one
was
I'm not that
because
excited for, so we can...
You could at least pronounce the names of the films.
So what the hell's it about?
What is it?
Oh, it's some sci-fi film that seems to be getting quite a bit of buzz, but...
Who stars in?
I couldn't tell you that.
You're so unprepared for this.
Whoever that actor is there,
Valerian.
I didn't put any effort into that one.
It's probably not
because
even Valerian.
It's a
I'm
herb.
not excited for it. So,
This is a film coming out the time.
Oh, it's that documentary about herbs, isn't it?
Yeah. Isn't it done by that famous documentarian, the guy who did the volcano on Netflix?
Not Richard Attenborough?
No, not Richard Attenborough.
Sorry,
You mean
Richard
David Attenborough.
Richard
That
Attenborough
guy,
dead.
not Richard Attenborough. Has it got what? It looks like it's got thingamabob in it.
yeah.
All
That's
this
right.
quality
Yeah,
content coming your way right now.
Delvine. It looks like her. It's the girl from Suicide Squad, the baddie.
Okay. She was terrible in Suicide Squad.
She.
Literally one of the worst things about a terrible film.
But she was supposed to be good in that. Is it Paper Towns? She was supposed to be really good in that.
I heard bad things, which is a shame.
I
Because
heard
he's the
bad things
guy
about
that
the film,
did
but I heard
Robot
that-
and Frank.
Oh, no way.
I was so excited for that film
No
because
way, really?
this guy did Robert and Frank, and then it comes out.
I
and
heard the
it's-
two actors are just quite young, quite good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I heard it wasn't overall a good film. Didn't know it was Robert Frank. Tangent, sorry.
Sorry. I'll be honest, like, it seems to have a bit of a following that, and I've never heard of it, and I watched the trailer, and visually it looked impressive, but something about it.
I don't know how I
doesn't get
feel
me
about these
excited
films
about it.
nowadays that are using people that are well known, like Cara Delevingne and Rihanna and many others kind of like getting into, with the exception, one exception, which is Justin Timberlake. because I think he's done really well as an actor. I'm not keen on when films incorporate these names, just try and enhance it. Don't get me wrong.
Because didn't Rihanna already turn in a terrible performance in Battleships?
Battleships.
Is a bit like, yeah.
I quite enjoyed Battleships.
You do have John Goodman, you have
sorry.
Ethan Hawke, and you have Clive Owen in this film. So some big, good, and great names. Clive Owen,
Clive Owen's been
Children of Men, awesome.
As well.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Oh.
So
yeah, we'll move on quickly from that one. War for the Planet of the Apes.
Is that this month? Next July? Yeah. Fuck, I'll be watching that, man.
Early reviews have started popping out.
I'm excited, really.
Yeah,
because those two already, they've been fantastic.
Yeah, this is what I planned. This is as much planning as I did, right? So one of the reviews is, it's a stunning masterpiece, brutal, bleak, and authentically moving and flawed. A masterful conclusion to what is now going to be one of the best trilogies ever.
Shit. Well, I really thoroughly enjoyed the first two. I don't know how you feel. I don't think you're entirely fussed. I like it. Andy Serkis.
I've loved the second one, I wanted a bit more out of it, but I feel like this is what it's building up to.
The first was some attachment, it definitely feels like that. The first was all about attachment, you love the characters inside it, I felt that way anyway. There was great, like almost coming of Caesar moments. In the second one, it almost it delves into almost politics and stuff, like how these people are going to be towards one another. It's one helping, there's politics between the apes. It's almost like they've progressed, their evolution has progressed quite far, and have now become a society. And it feels like there's some needs to explain in the second one as opposed to the first, which I loved that. Yeah. But I do feel what you just said there, and the fact that this game seems like it's going to come into the third one. It's been almost like the build up to the third one, much like arguably. Well, it's not anyway. I was going to say The Two Towers, but The Two Towers is a standalone film in its own right. It's great. Helm's Deep's class. Sorry, again, tangent.
All right.
Who's directing it again?
The same guy who's done all three of them.
He knows no names.
All right, fair enough. Sorry,
so, Rick. This is all right. This is what
Planet
I do.
of the Apes, right? I get people love them.
Yeah.
I have big problems
apes,
with the main characters being entirely CG. That is my only hang-up. If I could get over that, I might like these films.
But they've done all the motion capture facial thing.
I sent you a picture the other day of it.
And so the performance is still there. They've still got an actual actor behind that.
It's not. The performance isn't there.
I'm not being funny, but how good is that CGI?
The CGI is impeccable. Andy's showing you a really cool picture of Andy Serkis doing the performance.
Exactly.
Some of the performance is there.
Can't see it.
No. And Rick will put it up down here.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Some of the performance is there, but every moment I'm looking at it going, that's really good looking CGI.
Yeah. But
it's CGI at the end of the day. It's always going to remain CGI. In 10, 15 years, people are going to look back at that and go, look how bad that CGI looks. People don't look back at
I don't know.
At Yoda from The Empire Strikes Back and go, look how bad that puppet looks. Puppet looks fucking awesome. Can we please go back to a Hollywood that is entrenched in practical filmmaking, not CG? But I also understand at the same time saying that people who are fine with CGI probably love these films.
How do you do this without CGI? How
you do it how Tim Burton did it. That practical, say what you will about his film. The film was bad, but the practical effects were great.
Somewhere.
I agree with the whole, the Spider-Man action scenes and stuff. There should be more practical stuff going on there.
Yeah.
But I think with a film like this, where you have a war with, you could have thousands of apes on screen at once. You can't.
Helm's Deep. Again, go back to Two Towers, Helm's Deep.
You Helm's Deep. I'm not saying get rid of CGI entirely. I'm just saying maybe don't make your main character entirely CGI.
Battle of the Bastards.
You could also argue though.
Why are we not doing something like? Why are we not? Okay, I get. I'm answering all my own questions here, but I know why we're not doing something like what Tim Burton did, because he wanted something more ape-like. They were clearly, physically, the way they were moving was very human. And he wanted something to move more ape-like. But I find the believability much more there in terms of watching someone in some sort of detailed makeup than in watching a digital creation.
You could argue, I think the actual facial animations and everything, though, in that CGI is good. It could be even better than somebody with tons of makeup and stuff stuck on the face where you can't quite...
I think the could is an important statement there.
Right.
I don't think it does.
Okay.
What if we had someone so I'm not doubting Andy Serkis, because I think he's awesome at CGI, like Gollum, for example. Again, sorry to revert back to Lord of the Rings. What if we had someone like Doug Jones, who Guillermo del Toro, you know, Pan's Labyrinth. He's famous. Oh, he did Hellboy. He does all these kind of costume roles.
Yep.
What if we had someone like that?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
But we don't.
I think that's why it's such a rabid fan base still around Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy films and Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro in general. But those Hellboy films, people who love those like crazy love them.
That's coming from a comic, isn't it?
And it's I don't think it's anything to do with the comic. I think it's
No,
those films have picked up their own fan base based around the fact that he made them with such practical intent.
I get what you're saying. I am, no matter what, I am
excited,
very excited for this film. The reviews have just given me that extra, but I think this was the film that I was looking forward to the most.
It wouldn't surprise me if this is actually the highest rated film this year.
Potentially.
No, there's some other ones coming out. I can't think.
There's another one that could be.
No, fuck off. Anyway, highest rated.
Yeah.
Rated is in what?
From critics.
I reckon Star Wars might outdo it.
I have a feeling people are going to be harsher on Star Wars this time round.
Why?
Because we had Force Awakens, where everyone was like, it's great, but then in the aftermath, we had a lot of people going, it's basically A New Hope, isn't it?
That. When it first came out, there was loads of buzz.
Yeah, but you look at stuff like the sound mix and stuff.
But then we had Rogue One, where people went, that's awesome. Then in reflection, they went, but it's a bit, like first third's a bit dodgy, isn't it? Yeah. And then we've got all this bad news coming out about Han Solo. And now we're going into this. I think people are going to be very critical of this one. Yeah. I hope it exceeds it. I hope actually Star Wars comes out and it's awesome, but I think people are very, very critical.
Star Wars, you heard it from me. Highest rated.
You heard of Star Wars first from Andy.
Well, there's another film this month which could be quite highly rated as well. Christopher Nolan's
Dunkirk.
Yeah.
That comes out this month?
Yeah.
I am fucking all over that. That is proper, definitely going to be awesome.
That's what you want from a film, isn't it? You want them kind of like...
But it's Christopher Nolan doing like, not something like fantasy, like Inception, Interstellar, not something like Batman, not something like Memento, it's about thing. He's literally doing Dunkirk.
Yeah,
he's doing
Memento.
I know, but I know what it's about. I know it's about like memory and stuff like that, or it seems to be. This is about like... Christopher Nolan.
This is him entrenched entirely in realism.
Well, yeah. And what better thing to do than Dunkirk? Actually, my dad's great uncle, my nana's brother, I think he was at Dunkirk, and he'd experienced it. My dad always said, "Oh, your Uncle Len, you went to Dunkirk." And I always I remember one time I was asking him, because me and my dad like how war stuff. Now, one time asking your Uncle Len what it was like, and he said, he would speak about many things war, but the Dunkirk was one thing he would never ever speak about. So, from what I've read about Dunkirk, you hear these stories, a bit like what D-Days and stuff like that. It's kind of like the opposite of D-Day, almost, you could say, because it's literally having to run away, all these vessels coming out. It's this huge heroic triumph, but you also need to take into account that it's so going to be the film itself is going to be so gritty, realistically tough to watch. It's going to be heartbreaking.
Yeah,
and it's going to be interesting to see Nolan do that.
Like I was saying to you earlier, I'm hoping this film eradicates my one problem with Nolan, which is often that kind of techno-babble and lots of exposition that he dumps on the audience. I think something framed like Dunkirk actually might get rid of a lot of that.
I hope so.
This might be I'd like to think this is one of Nolan's strongest films, hopefully. The other weird buzz around it is that people are talking about Harry Styles being cast in it.
See, this is going back to my previous point.
I think that's such a weird casting. He's got a really good reason for it. That's what I really hope that's
I've heard one thing where someone mentioned that he kind of... I don't know if it was Harry Styles, but it was one of these celebrity guys who went to the films like, actually, it was actually all right. It was really good. And it could have been Harry... it rings a bell. Is there any other One Direction lads that have been in the films? I think it was Harry Styles that said, actually... It might be one of the actors that said, he's got some fucking...
I think Nolan knows what he's doing. We've all seen Nolan films. They've never been bad. They might not live up to the hype sometimes, they've never been bad. This is such a weird casting choice. He's done weird casting before. Remember when Heath Ledger was announced as the Joker?
Yeah.
People were outraged. People said that's a terrible casting. So I'm hoping he's just done another very clever bit of casting.
Yeah.
So very
Tom
excited
Hardy's
about
in
this.
this and all, isn't he?
Tom Hardy and Cillian Murphy.
They haven't used that though, have they? They haven't...
Yeah, your thing's going off again. Sorry, go on.
They haven't used that as a kind of advertisement,
They haven't.
In the trailers, you barely see him. And when you do, he's got his air thing on. So it's not like they're using the actors.
He did the same thing in Inception.
Yeah.
He just used like Tom Hardy for a couple of scenes and was like, right, moving on.
So these are the type of films I absolutely love.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Standalone films, you haven't got all that guff of like universes and all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
And just to harken back to
film.
what we've just been talking about, this is, I think, perfect in that it's going to be mostly practical based on the ones of the films
Yeah.
with CGI to enhance. This is
Yeah.
this is what I want from a blockbuster.
Let's hope it's good.
Yeah.
Good, it's a good month actually, isn't it?
It's brilliant. It is a really, really good month. It
Cool.
gets even better.
All right.
The Emoji Movie. Right.
Wait.
Shame.
Oh,
Shame.
and on that bombshell,
Shame.
that is the month of July.
Fucking Emoji Movie in amongst all those great
You
contenders.
can watch that one.
Even the fucking
That'll
herb,
be the biggest film.
Valerian, what it was called, the herb. I'd rather fucking go on about that for like 3 days than talk about the Emoji Movie. Fuck off.
Oh, but it's got a poo in it with a face. Come on. You can't beat that.
Shame.
Forget Dunkirk. The reason I go to the cinema.
Shame.
Oh, he returns.
Come here,
No, oh.
come here. We're going.
The reason I go to the cinema is to see talking poos with cry laughy faces and walking carrots. What other emojis is it? But it looks like I'm going on my own. So, as I'm now sat on my own, talking to myself, we'll wrap up movie monthly, and we'll see you next month for that month's movies. See you later.
You go.
Emoji Movie. The Emoji Movie.